Hi guys, it's me, Fruity, back again with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a show I haven't really covered on this channel before, at least not in long form from what I'm aware of, and that show so happens to be Catching Up. Some of you might already know this, but yeah, I like Catching Up. I watched episode 1 the day it came out, and I just watched episode 2 today when it dropped. So I figured, why not just make an actual review, just my thoughts and opinions, completely spoiler free, just so I don't spoiler everything for you, so there's no point in watching it. So you can decide whether or not by the end of this video, or even in the middle of the video if you decide you really want to watch it, if you want to watch it. And this is how I felt about Catching Up Season 2. Episode 2! Oh my star! Okay, first of all, the pacing in this episode is a lot better than the pilot, which is kind of expected and should be a given because the pilot is the first episode we start off with that really gets us to introduce our characters. So obviously there's going to be a little bit more time to introduce us to the characters' personalities and give us a feel of the world they live in. Even so, the pilot felt like it had a lot more filler. There were definitely moments where I think they could have cut it to make it shorter, but with this episode though, almost every part feels important. There is one part I would say maybe that could be cut, but overall the pacing's really good and I don't really think that's too much of an issue to worry about. Something else not to worry about is the humor. It's really well done. It really is funny. It really reminds me a lot of Family Guy, which has humor that is sort of edgy, which is a concern. I would say if you don't like swearing and you don't like slightly edgy or crude humor, I would not recommend this show.
You blaze.
Oh, hey, Roy! I found your bag of oregano. I didn't know you liked cooking.
But I think that's what makes it better, especially knowing its target audience is mostly teenagers, which is good, especially because it makes the show feel more relatable and realistic. But another thing I think we should talk about is characters. I think Rob really got better in this episode, because before, his and Clay's friendship didn't really feel like a friendship. It felt very one-sided, and if you told me they weren't friends and they were actually enemies, I would have believed you. Their friendship didn't come off as believable until the very end of the pilot episode, so I'm really glad that they made the friendship between those two seem more real and legit. Another character who got really good was Mary Jane, because I think she's really, really good in this episode because she gets screen time for once in her life, and she just has a lot of interesting moments, and I really like her and Clay's interactions because they actually do seem like they get along.
Boring.
You shouldn't do drugs just because you think it'll make you look cool. I mean, I'd say you've been pretty entertaining without them.
And honestly, if they become a canon couple, I am totally on board and I totally ship it. And if not, I totally adore their friendship. Rob's older brother, Roy, is a really interesting character. I won't spoil what happens near the end of the episode, but what we see of Roy really gives a switch on his personality, and it really made me like him a lot more than I already liked him as a character, because I think he's really well done, and Scott does a good job at voicing him. Speaking of voices, the voice acting in this episode is way better than the pilot. The characters really do feel like they came to life, and sometimes I forget I'm watching a show when I'm hearing them voice act, which is actually kind of crazy. Michael Kovac does a really, really good job at Clay, once again. Even though he's just using his normal voice, it does actually separate him from the other characters he voices, such as Anne and Jax from The Amazing Digital Circus, because it really does feel like he's giving a separate performance for Clay. Mackenzie Atwood does a really good job at making Rob feel all excited, and even when he gets sad, which he does a lot more in this episode than he did in the pilot, which gives him more likable traits as a character, she does a good job at making Rob still sound like an excited kid. Scott the Woz does a really, really, really good job at Roy, because he really does sound like just an annoyed older brother who's done dealing with his friend and also his younger brother. And yeah, I do know that he's doing his normal voice, but the acting he gives off really is a good job, and it really brings the character to life.
If Dad finds out that's mine, he'll send me to that Catholic school for sure. Oh, boys!
And it might seem random why I'm mentioning the voice actors are mostly doing their normal voices, but it is a good thing to mention since it does make the show feel more real and less fake, which is weird because they're literally talking animals. But I think now's a good time to end the video. So I cried. Do I think you should watch Catching Up? Yes, under certain conditions. If you don't like crude humor or swearing, I don't recommend this show. However, if you can get past that or even enjoy that type of humor, go ahead and watch the show. It is for you. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, you should check out more of my content and then maybe consider subscribing possibly, like the video, and if you have anything else to add, you can comment below. I'll see you in the next one, Fruity Loopers.